Hi guys, I'm the Tilter and I'm here today to talk about Illaoi, the Kraken Princess. Now Illaoi has been widely considered to be OP and nothing else, but I'd like to take a look at what makes her strong and how her kit works, so that we can reach an agreement on where she stands. Let's start with her abilities. Her passive is this thing that spawns the tentacles on the walls every 15 seconds. It is basically what her kit revolves around, and it is a new mechanic to League of Legends. She spawns tentacles every 15-ish seconds, and they have 2 health and last forever or 1 minute after Illaoi leaves the area where they are at. It is a good passive, and her kit is made to work around it and to synergize with it. So let's get into the abilities. Her Q is Tentacle Smash, which is a decent ability. It has good poke, decent damage, even pretty good damage if you don't build full tank. Leveling this ability, you will level it first because it drops the cooldown from 10 seconds to 6 seconds, and the mana increases a small amount, and of course you get the extra damage from it. Now, her Q is your poking tool and your wave clear. With 2 damage items it can easily one-shot the caster minions, which makes farming with her pretty easy. Now her W, Harsh Lesson, is an auto-attack modifier. It is also a short dash to her target and an auto-attack timer reset. Now any enemy that gets hit by her W is automatically targeted by any nearby tentacles that are in range, and they will smash on top of the target champion after a small delay, which means it is easily avoidable if your enemy knows what they are doing. It does some bonus physical damage, which isn't all that great, and it will be blocked by spell shields. By that I mean, if you get blocked by, for instance, Sivir, any tentacles you have nearby will not swing at her. Now her E. This is the most annoying ability to play against if you get hit. If you get hit, Illaoi pulls out your spirit, which she can then beat on for the next 10 seconds, which is reduced by 1 second for each time you hit her. So you can fight her, but it's not really good because the spirit sends a portion of the damage dealt to it to you, but at the same time any damage to you doesn't get reduced if she hits you and the spirit at the same time with her Q or any nearby tentacles. And if she kills the spirit, or if you leave a pretty large area, you will be slowed for a decent amount, 80 seconds decaying over 2 seconds, and you will become a vessel. Being a vessel is the most annoying thing in the game currently. Every 10 seconds it makes tentacles spawn near you, similar to Illaoi's passive. And any tentacle, including those that you just spawn, will immediately try to attack you. Now, being a vessel lasts for 1 whole minute or until you kill 3 tentacles. But in any case, once you're a vessel, you will be almost unable to farm, which means she will gain lane dominance. And Illaoi is a champion that once she gains lane presence, she does not give it up, because her tentacles help keep her safe against possible ganks. And if she is near 2 or more tentacles, any gank has a really high chance of turning bad and her walking away with a double kill, similar to what Darius can do. Her ultimate is called Leap of Fate, and it is a point blank area of effect ability that spawns one tentacle for each enemy or spirit hit, and all her tentacles become untargetable and swing 50% faster. Also, your W, Harsh Lesson, its cooldown is reduced to 2 seconds for the entire duration of your ultimate, which means that every 2 seconds you are able to use your W and all tentacles you spawn will smash at your enemies. This is why people call her OP, because she has enormous turnaround potential, and any clusterfuck teamfight is a place where she wants to be, because every tentacle hit heals her for 5% of her missing health. So for instance, if you are fighting 3 champions and you manage to hit your E, which means you get his spirit, you will get 4 extra tentacles that will each heal you for 5% of your missing damage, which is 20%. And that will happen every 2 seconds when they will smash and possibly hit most of the enemies. And they will pretty much die and get destroyed. This is why people call her OP, because she can fight evenly in a 1v3, 1v4 situation if she gets good setup. First, I'm going to talk about some synergies inside of her kit that aren't immediately visible, that you find out while you play her. For instance, when you hit your E, the spirit that gets pulled out is immediately targeted by nearby tentacles, and also any newly made tentacles made by your passive or your ultimate. This means that if you have a spirit out when you ult, all the newly formed tentacles will have an extra swing at the spirit, which has a high chance of actually doing AoE damage to any nearby enemies. Which means if you pull an enemy with your E, ult, and then use your W, the tentacles will smash once at the spirit and once at whatever target you hit with your W, which will result in 2 consecutive strikes, which will pretty much wipe anything that isn't a tank. Now, but if you use only your ultimate and then your W, you lose out on so much potential damage. And probably any fight that I said before at 1v3 or 1v4 will be immediately lost if Illaoi misses her E. Also, this combo makes you feel unkillable. Once or twice, if you get a really good ultimate E combo on 4 people, or maybe all 5 of them, you for the next 8 seconds feel like a god. And you do damage like a god. You pretty much completely destroy any enemy or any group of enemies foolish enough to stay near you while you have your ultimate up. But until now I've only talked about her strengths. But Illaoi has really glaring weaknesses that people tend to overlook because she can one-shot 3 enemies at once. Which I do believe is a bit overtuned, but she is a top laner that brings absolutely no CC except a slow on her E to our team, which means she brings damage, and she does bring damage. And if she gets nerfed, for instance, if she gets down-tuned to a position where she can no longer have those advantageous 1v2s or 1v3s, she becomes a really underwhelming pick in the top lane, because her kit requires a lot of setup, with her needing to put tentacles and usually wanting a fight to be near those tentacles, which means her TP ganks will probably never happen unless it's a really good position where the enemy team is tower diving, because with no tentacles nearby she has no damage and no way to actually help in a TP situation. She's also really bad when the game goes on and it gets to team fight, but not when teams collide into each other and there's a big team fight, somebody walks out the winner. No, she loves those. But for instance, if it's a poke war and your team is slightly winning and pushing the enemy back, she will never have the area that she wants to fight in. And considering her tentacles on her wall before her ultimate do like 50 or 60% of her damage minimum, she will feel really underwhelming if she went damage, because to poke, she will just get poked down and die. Also, for individual counters to her, for instance in lane, I found that she has, well, a decently troubling time with range champions because they can easily clear her tentacles. And I found that if the enemy is diligent and tries to get rid of all the tentacles as soon as they spawn and doesn't give me a edge in lane, even if I do hit my E once or twice on them, I usually end up feeling underwhelming the rest of the game and uh, consequently just lose because I don't get the power spike before the enemy. I don't get the presence in the team. I don't get presence in team fight because I just become the annoying damage dealer that can easily get shut down because the enemy top laner is probably a Gnar with like 5,000 health and armor and damage because his kit is stupid, who can basically go into my team and be a nuisance while I'm dead because I get instantly destroyed by their team. Well, this is what I came up with in the last month or so of playing her. If you disagree, I'd like to hear your opinion in the comments below. But anyway, if you like this video, uh, subscribe, share it with your friends, leave a like, that helps a ton. And I'll hopefully see you guys in my next video, which should come out right after the holidays. Bye!